Hello, fifth grade champions. We are continuing our read of Falcon Wild by Lynn Johnson. This is a really good book. And what can we say? They are still lost, really lost, and hungry and cold and tired and a lot of other things. So hopefully it's going to get better. I guess we'll figure it out. We're on page 89 at the top. And Cooper is, talking a little bit more than normal, kind of sharing some thoughts. So we'll see how this goes. She's right about that. Cooper pops another clover in his mouth as he continues walking. I follow behind, glad he's not looking at me. It's just that I guess I want a lot of friends. I imagine being at school surrounded by a sea of kids my age. I've been thinking about it so much. It's been like a dream that's far away. But now it's close and it's scarier than I thought it would be. I've never told anyone how afraid I am to go to school. I don't want to be the weird girl, I say. How am I going to make friends if I'm not normal? Try not talking so much for starters, Cooper suggests. Then no one will know. I take his cue. But as we walk, I imagine moving through the halls of my new school next year with new friends. We'll share funny stories about our families, we'll laugh and joke together, and I'll always have them to sit with. I'll feel like a part of a group that understands me. Maybe one of those friends will turn into a best friend. Maybe she'll like that I blabber a lot. Maybe she's also afraid of not doing things right. Or maybe she's sometimes jealous of her sibling whom everyone seems to instantly love more than her. Perhaps she even worries about sounding dumb in front of people, which only makes her ramble more. The silence and the thoughts of my imaginary friends stretch on. I've always talked too much when we go to homeschooling conferences, I say. Cooper sighs. That was about 8 seconds of silence, but it was nice while it lasted. I throw my clover at the back of Cooper's head. If I'm so weird, then why do I know more about the outdoors and what plants to eat than you? Seems like important stuff to know. He waves me away like I'm a fly. We chew on the clover as we keep moving. Swallowing that little bit has made me hungrier than before, but I try to feel full. I focus again on our goal. I was more certain yesterday, but now doubt plagues my mind. I turn it over and over. The highway has to be there, but we've gone so far now. What if there's nothing? I keep hoping that the GPS was just a bit off, and that the highway is only slightly farther than I thought, that we'll see it over the next hill. I stumbled and struggled to steady myself. If it's beyond the next hill, we need more clover for the strength to get there. I'd like to talk to Cooper about where the highway is, but he has already accused me of not knowing where I'm going. If he's right, my family is in big trouble. Chapter 16, page 91. Stark's talons tense on my shoulder, and I snap to focus on my surroundings. Cooper has already seen something and motions for me to get down. He raises a finger to his lips for silence and crouches in the grass. I scan the direction where he's looking across the prairie to our left and onto the foothills and buttes beyond that. Cooper points to something in the grass, and I strain to see. Could it be a game bird? He hefts his stick in the air, taking aim. Does he really think he can spear one? Imagine eating a grouse makes my mouth salivate. I reach for Stark just as Cooper explodes from his crouch. He runs full tilt with his arm caught back, holding his stick. It sails through the air. 2 ringneck pheasants lift out of the shrubs and squawk as the stick lands harmlessly beside them. Stark launches herself. Ho, 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 I scream, just as Aunt Amy does with Tank, but it's too late. Stark needs time to get height. She circles me and her head swivels, watching for my lure. I fling my arm toward the pheasants. Cooper races after them as if he can catch them by hand. They gain elevation. No! He drops to his knees. As I watch the pheasants take flight, Stark tucks her wings in close to her body and then slices through the air. She misses the first one, but crashes into the second with a flurry of feathers. She drops with a few feathers clutched in her talons. The pheasants keep going. Stark! I race toward where I saw her plummet behind a pile of rocks. Please be okay. The look on her face is so full of reproach, I almost crack up. She's disgusted with me, as if it were my fault they got away. Cooper screams, dropping his face in his hands. That was so close. Yeah, but did you see Stark hit it? She's so smart. Smart? She missed. It's how you learn. Let's try that again. We set off to look for more birds. With both of us on a mission now and Stark following in the air, all three of us were on the same team for once. Stark has to have a good pitch. She has to be high in the air before we flush those birds up, I tell him. Falcons fold their wings and drop out of the sky to catch their meals. Gyres can also chase down prey, but Stark doesn't have that kind of endurance yet. Falcons like Stark use their feet to swat prey out of the air. I once saw a falcon take the head off a duck in midair. I teach Cooper to dog for Stark, but he seems to be a natural at stalking. He's quiet and focused. He even saw those pheasants before I did. So when we both see the grouse hiding in the grass, something ancient shows through our shared look of excitement. There's a reason everyone can see movement out of the corners of their eyes. We're all hunters, after all, born with these instincts. Maybe it takes a desperate need for those instincts to be awakened. With Stark flying circles above me and the wide open prairie all around me, I feel like I can share in her wildness. I'm actually hunting with Stark. The thought brings a smile to my face as I tilt it up to see her progress. I can barely see her now. She's a speck in the sky. She's almost 1,000 feet high. She's learned so fast. A falcon needs confidence to stoop such a pitch. I cover my mouth in excitement, then remember what we're doing and peel my gaze off Stark. Now, flush the game for her. Cooper throws his spear toward the grouse in the grass and they launch noisily into the air. I whistle. Ho, 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 I scream. Stark tucks and stoops. She becomes a white streaking missile. All I can do is stare and hope. My eyes follow her down, down. She's building speed in her descent, dropping at nearly 200 miles per hour. I hold my breath. She smashes into one of the grouse, feathers explode like a bomb, and both birds plummet to the ground. I race toward them. Cooper whoops with triumph and follows me. I crest the incline she fell behind and see a fierce new hunter with a hen clutched in her talons. She's panting with a comical expression of shock on her face. It's as if she's saying, "Why is this hen not dead?" She has the catching and holding instinct, but the killing must be practiced. In the hen's struggle to escape, it whips Stark with flapping wings. The falcon clamps her elegant toes around its head. Cooper moves past me toward Stark. No, I yell to Cooper, let me do it. You need to be careful taking prey from a falcon. There's a technique to it. You have to carefully switch the game for her share. It's called making in. I make in like I've seen Aunt Amy do after Tank catches a hare. I approach. Stark on the ground. Good girl. That was good. My heart pounds. I've never actually done this part before. I have to reach carefully so Stark doesn't feel like I'm stealing from her. Her trust in me would be damaged. As the grouse flaps, I grip its neck in my hands. Thank you, I murmur, and I pull the neck apart until it stills. Feeling it with my own hand is even more humbling than when I watch it being done. This part usually makes me sad, but now I understand why we say, thank you. I understand the respect I'm giving this hen that has given its life for ours. Stark is busy plucking feathers. Now that the grouse is dead, I help Stark break into the meat by reaching with 2 fingers and poking them through the thin skin of the sternum. Then I pull my fingers down toward the feet, ripping more skin away and exposing the heart and the soft, squishy red liver. As Stark digs in, I help pluck her praise feathers, reinforcing our bond. She will feel like we're sharing the meal this way. I ready my sleeve around my left hand like a gauntlet and tear off a leg. I hold a foot between my fingers and pick Stark up like we've done at home. Once she's busy tearing at the meaty part of the thigh, I make a trade. In one smooth motion, I slide the grouse out of her sight and, acting casual, stuff it up the back of my shirt. Only then do I breathe. It's done. We've made our first kill together. I may not be old enough to be an apprentice falconer, but I feel like one right now. I straighten and turn to find Cooper right behind me. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Our eyes meet, and I see my own feelings mirrored back at me. We stand there a moment, just grinning at each other. You like breast meat? I ask. His grin gets wider. Here, I hand the grouse to Cooper. Take the breast out. Stark will have the rest. We're all going to eat. He continues, holding it at arm's length. How exactly do I do that? I roll my eyes. I'll show you in a second. I turn back to Stark. You are a hunter. Her instincts have awakened too. She fixes me with her stare. Her huge dark eyes study me before she bends over the leg again. Who'd have thought that bird would be good for something? Cooper seems to have recovered enough to be his charming self. I'll make a fire so we can cook this baby. When Stark has finished her meal, her crop is full and looks as if she swallowed a baseball. I press my cheek to hers. Thank you, Stark, I whisper. The words are not enough for what she has given me. Life. The energy to keep going. She tilts her head until she's looking at me upside down. I laugh and clean her beak with my thumb and forefinger. She nibbles on my fingers, but I know she won't bite with meaning. She's fed, and it's social time now. I'm happy to watch her feet against my sweatshirt, a sure sign she's content and relaxed. My arm hurts holding her, so I raise my hand, encouraging her to move. She leaps off and flies over Cooper as he collects firewood from the nearby trees. She lands on the very top of a ponderous pine, and her weight sags the tip a little. Even though she sits way up there, we are an inseparable team. My heart squeezes as I watch her white silhouette sit proudly against the blue sky. It's burning, Cooper says as he raises the meat back out of the flames. We impaled it on live green sticks that Cooper sharpened to points with his knife. Smoke wafts up, carrying a mouth-watering aroma. I help him rotate the sticks, and we watch the smoke drift along the edges of the trees, staying at shoulder height until it dissipates. We're going to attract cougars with this cooking, I say. Better eat it now. What do you mean, cougars? Cooper glances behind us. As in the animal? I nod as I sink my teeth into a piece of the most delicious grouse I've ever eaten, even though it's burned on one side and undercooked on the other. The only sounds are our chewing and our appreciative grunts. It isn't long before we're sucking bones and wiping our mouths. The grouse was just a puny thing, really. The whole bird must have been under 2 pounds, which is too bad because they can grow bigger than a chicken. Kicking sand on the fire, we prepare to continue our trek. The meat stopped the cramping pain in my stomach, but I'm still hungry. I grab my pack as we start out again. So we're stopping on page 98. I hope you enjoyed this read, and we'll start there tomorrow at the top of page 98, Falcon Wild. Thank you. Take care and have a really good afternoon.